Hello, welcome to Continental Prime, reaching you live from our studios here in Lagos, Nigeria. The headlines for this hour. Death toll from attack in Nigeria's northwestern state of Kaduna rises to 45. Zimbabwe seeks Rwanda's help to return to the Commonwealth. Tunisia's president said asked to reverse the decision to expand his powers and rule by decree. Details shortly. For viewers across Africa and the rest of the world, this is Continental's Prime, New Central's Continental Prime. I'm Sulaiman Alede. Now, the death toll from the two attacks in Kaura and Zango Kataf local government areas of Nigeria's northwestern state of Kaduna has risen to 45. Now, this follows the recovery of 3 more dead bodies by security operatives in Madamai and Kachere villages of Kaura and Zango Kataf local government areas. The State Commissioner of Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Arwa, had said on Monday that 34 persons were killed in the attack that occurred on Sunday, while 8 others were killed in what looked like a reprisal in Zango Kataf on Monday. The Commissioner says a search and rescue operation is still on. Still in Nigeria, the police have denied killing members of a banned Shiite Muslim group who had gathered in the capital Abuja on Tuesday. The denial follows reports that 8 members of the proscribed Islamic movement of Nigeria were shot dead during the procession to mark the religious ritual of Arba'in. In a statement, the police said it arrested 57 members and recovered petrol bombs and bags of stones. The police said they had intervened to stop the IMN members as they were causing unnecessary hardship to motorists along the Abuja-Kubwa Expressway. The government banned the IMN in 2019 after a protest against the detention of its leader. In the meantime, a senior naval officer has called for concerted efforts to end the proliferation of small and medium arms in Nigeria to curb insecurity in the country. Navy Commodore Jamila Malafa told lawmakers in Nigeria's capital Abuja that Chadian soldiers sell guns for as low as $20, making small arms more accessible to criminal elements. Malafa, the Navy's Director of Legal Services, spoke during a public hearing by the House of Representatives Committee on National Security and Intelligence. Chad shares a border with Nigeria in the north, just as Niger, Cameroon, and Benin Republic are the country's neighbors. She called for laws to govern the handling of arms and ammunition or build an armory for countries neighboring Nigeria. Now, still talking security in Nigeria, police in the southwestern state of Lagos have confirmed the abduction of a retired Air Vice Marshal Sikiru Smith. The former Air Force general was reportedly abducted by masked men who shot sporadically and bundled him into a standby boat. A spokesperson for the police in the state, Adekunle Ajishebutu, who confirmed the incident, said efforts are being made to rescue the victim unhurt and arrest the perpetrators. The abductee is a cousin to a former Inspector General of Police and chairman of the Police Service Commission, Musiliu Smith. Now, the primary responsibility of any government is the provision of adequate security and welfare for its people. After 61 years of independence, it remains a mirage in Nigeria following the growing spate of insecurity across the country in recent times. As a result, a religious body, the Muslim Congress, decides to sensitize the populace on this menace. New Central's Chidima also completes the report.
Nigeria prepares to mark its 61st independence anniversary on Friday, October 1st, 2021. A lot of questions are still left unanswered. One of such is insecurity, being raised by an Islamic group, the Muslim Congress (TMC), and a public awareness program organized by the Lagos State chapter.
Without any iota of doubt, the country has suffered major setbacks in almost every facet: economy, security, leadership, infrastructure, and many more. The setbacks can, of course, be traced to a myriad of debilitating factors, chief among which is abject lack of focus on and sustenance of the country's strategic development plan.
These so-called miscreant or area boys, they are constituting this insecurity challenge we are talking about. If we elucidate it very well, they are part of it. So in order to bring them from the streets to the area where they will be needful to the society, so we have to support them.
With the theme Insecurity and National Unity, the nation on trial, the group is calling on support from the masses for the common good of the nation.
Leadership is one of the challenges we are facing in this country. And again, our educational system is bad. I'm trying to say this because I observe this because the educational system of Nigeria is such that at the end of the day, when you acquire it, it is not enough for you to live your life.
The family system has decayed, and as a result of that, what goes around revolves around. These so-called people that dominate the government we are talking about, they arise from the family. And once the family is collapsed, definitely a nation is collapsed.
The annual event is a week-long activities to raise awareness on other issues, including bad governance and ineffective leadership. Chidima Nwosu, reporting for News Central.
Let's go to the east of Africa, where residents of Ethiopia's southern Kaffa zone have faced what many view as more than a century of underinvestment by authorities in Addis Ababa. But Kaffa's leaders plan to fix it with a referendum that, if successful, would carve out a new southwest region, which will be Ethiopia's 11th region. They also hope it will funnel more federal cash their way, along with control over how it is spent.
የመደራጀት ነፃነት ጥያቄ መመለስ ባህሪው አይፈቅድም። ለዚህም እኛ በእውነት ኢህአዴግ የሚለው ድርጅት መሪ ሳይሆን ህዝብ ጨቋኝና በዝባዥ የህዝብ ጥያቄ መመለስ የማይችል ከሌላው አካባቢ ጋር ከፋን ሳወዳድር እጅግ ወደ ኋላ የቀረች ሀገር ነች። በጣም አንድ ከሚያሳዝኑን ነገሮች ውስጥ
everyone loves their country. Everyone loves their country, so they are not going to see simply when their country is distracted and they want to protect their country from everything.
ይሄ በህዝቡ ጥያቄ ነው ከህፃን እስከ አዋቂ ይሄ ጥያቄ በደንብ ነው የሚጠየቀው። እንግዲህ ሌላ ሀገር ብዙ ደረጃ ሄዷል። ከፋ በጣም ጥብቅ ደን ያላትና ንጹህ ደን ያላት።
Opposition members of parliament in Uganda on Tuesday walked out of parliament after the Prime Minister and Attorney General failed to give a satisfactory answer over the whereabouts of two legislators. The missing lawmakers, Mohammed Sagariya and Alan Swanyana, are Bobby Wine's National Unity Platform Party members. They were recently released on bail after being charged with murder relating to attacks in the country's central region, but detained immediately after leaving prison. On Monday evening, Mr. Seringia was pulled out of his lawyer's car outside Kigo prison by armed security personnel dressed in black and driven off in an unmarked vehicle. Police say he now faces new charges of treason and incitement to violence. Now, Zimbabwe is seeking Rwanda's help in its bid to rejoin the Commonwealth, which it left in 2003. Zimbabwean Foreign Minister Frederick Shave disclosed this in an interview ahead of the inaugural Zimbabwe-Rwanda Trade and Investment Conference in Kigali on Tuesday. Shave says Rwanda has assured it that it is very keen to support Zimbabwe, adding that the importance and relevance of the discussion lie in the fact that the next Commonwealth Conference will be held in Kigali. Zimbabwe reapplied to rejoin the club in 2018, but the Commonwealth says the Southern African country should demonstrate its compliance with the fundamental values set out in the Commonwealth Charter before it can be readmitted. Now, 4 Tunisian political parties have demanded that President Kais Saied reverse his recent decision to expand his powers and rule by decree. One of the 4 left-leaning factions warned that the president's actions risked a slide into violence or even civil war. President Saied is accused of installing one-person rule with a stroke of his pen after gathering almost all powers into his own hands in July when he suspended parliament. Algeria's army chief has accused Morocco of conspiring against his country and promised a firm response. General Said Changiria said Morocco had gone too far with its conspiracies and subversive propaganda campaigns. His comments come after Algeria last month cut all diplomatic ties with its neighbor, accusing it of hostile actions. Morocco says the decision was unjustified and absurd, but Algeria alleges that the Moroccans support the separatist MAC movement, which seeks independence for its Kabyle region. The 2 countries have also been at odds for decades over the fate of the territory of Western Sahara, which Morocco claims as its own. When the news returns, we'll bring you updates on the coronavirus across the continent. Stay with us. Well, if you just joined us, you're welcome. You're watching Continental Prime here on News Central Television, reaching you live from Nigeria's economic capital, Lagos. Now, as the digital age ushers in more opportunities to disseminate information, it has become vital for people at all levels to fact-check news, especially to ensure that their authenticity before sharing. With the theme Building Back Better with Access to Information, the 2021 International Day for Universal Access to Information seeks to curb fake news and promote unhindered access to knowledge. News Central's Ni Omoni tells us more.
It's the source of development for everyone, but for us who live with disability, it is like our day-to-day machine.
Just like Abednego, many around the world still rely on information to survive and make day-to-day decisions, meaning the importance of universal access to information cannot be overemphasized, especially in the 21st century.
It's very, very important. It is said that the oxygen of democracy is information. So it's something that we need to cherish. It's something that we need to defend. And any form of step that enhances universal access to information.
Noting that the digital age has introduced various information channels, journalists have a role to play, as many still depend on traditional media for information.
As journalists, the role we play to ensure that people gain access to information cannot be overemphasized, especially in times like these when fake news is prevalent. So on the one hand, we have to ensure that information that is disseminated is original and not fake. And on the other hand, for the benefit of those who do not have access to information, it is our duty and our role to ensure that information gets to all the nooks and crannies of the world, from the grassroots to the most developed of countries.
We have to go back to what our job is all about. What is the expected job function of the media? Agenda setting, informing the people the correct way, the right way.
People shouldn't be in a rush to share any news. There are no prices for it. Double cross your sources and the information you get. And I mean, it's just it's part of our civic duties. It's part of being responsible.
Fake news is one area to tackle as the digital age ushers in more avenue to disseminate information.
Fake news can be destructive. Fake news can affect you personally. Fake news can make the nation to go down, and we won't have what we are supposed to have.
The credibility of all of us who are practicing journalists is at stake. We don't have to leave the social media space for people who are not trained journalists, for people who want to use it to cause confusion, for people who want to use it to cause security problems, for people who want to use it to perpetrate crimes.
Around the world, many people still cannot exercise their universal rights to information. As the world celebrates International Day for Universal Access to Information, it has become imperative for citizens, civil societies, journalists, and government worldwide to ensure that the public gets the right information. As they say, informed people make informed decisions. Ni Omoni, reporting for News Central.
We'll go back to development in Kaduna State, where about 4 to 5 persons have been reported, killed in that very unfortunate incident. Joining me now to talk more on this is Benayab Benjamin Dida Musa, who is a social activist. Good to have you join me, Benjamin. Quickly here, give us an update about what exactly is happening at the moment.
Good evening, sir. Actually, the situation here, especially in Kaduna, southern Kaduna, especially in several local governments, right now is very, very pathetic. Lives are being men burned down, houses rent, and the situation is so very bad, sir. Particularly in a village, the hoodlums entered last night. They raped almost an entire village, killing children, women, and even men. People who are running away for their lives or safety were also followed to the bush and killed. As I am talking to you right now, there are a lot of people that are missing, which we don't know if they have actually escaped it from the hands of the hoodlums. Some people actually called a name for as non-gun names, so forth. But a lot of them are missing, and some have still been found dead in the bushes. So the situation is actually pathetic. The southern Kaduna people are very peaceful people. We actually are not people who look for trouble.
Let me comment here quickly, Benjamin. Benjamin, quickly here. Now we understand that a search and rescue operation is ongoing. Do you envisage that the casualty figure just might rise beyond 45?
Say that again.
Now that the search and rescue is ongoing, is there any possibility that we'll see a rise in those killed in this very unfortunate attack?
I'm not sure I get you very well, but like I said, I don't think there is any rescue operation going on, sir. Because if there was, what happened on the 15th of August in the same village would not happen those last 2 nights. So when you say there is a rescue operation going on, I actually don't understand what that means.
Well, anyway, I think, Benjamin, what this means, quickly, let me come in here, because there is a commissioner in charge in your state of Kaduna, and that's Samuel Arwan, who's speaking on behalf of the government, and he's told the world that there is a search and rescue ongoing in Kaduna State. But again, in your community, quickly, let's bring it down to your community. Have you been able to make some head count? Is anyone missing at the moment, and do you have any figure of those missing?
Yes, there are a few people that are missing in the community because mostly the attack takes place in the night. And so maybe some of them are not even alive. But what we know is that we have some people that are missing, and we have a pile of dead bodies lying down in the mud.
So quickly here, before we let you off, sorry, there's a bit of glitch in connection to you. Apologies. We understand that there's some horrible connectivity in telecommunication within that axis. But quickly, if you can hear me, what is your community doing to see that people are safe? Is there any conversation at the moment between your community and the Kaduna State government?
As a matter of fact, the only thing the government of Kaduna State has said so far about this is that the Commissioner, Samuel Agwan, has gone to the Detained teaching hospital just to see the victims, those that have been hospitalized there, and that they are going to take care of their bills. That is the only thing I know that the government of Kaduna State has said about that. But besides that, there is nothing. It has always been a statement after statement on the killing, and nothing has been done. And I don't think this is going to be a different case. The people are actually in dire need of help from the international community and Nigeria as a whole. Because at the rate at which people are being killed in the community is very uncalled for. We have become, metaphorically, we have become endangered species in our own very land.
Well, I think at this point, I would like to thank you for your time, Benjamin Didier Musa, social activist in Kaduna State. Well, still to come here in a bit, here on the news, our update on the coronavirus pandemic across the continent. Well, the coronavirus, the number rather of confirmed COVID-19 cases in Africa has reached 8.28 million this afternoon, while the death toll across the continent stands at 210,435. This is according to figures released today by the Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The agency says patients who have recovered from the disease across the continent so far now stand above 7.61 million. It notes that South Africa, Morocco, Tunisia, and Ethiopia are among the countries with the most cases on the continent. Let's go to the north of Africa, where Egypt provides immediate COVID-19 vaccinations at youth centers across the country without prior online registration. The move aims to encourage vaccinations and relieve pressure on hospitals and health units amid the fourth wave of infections. The Health Ministry says nearly 270 youth centers are now open for citizens to get the vaccines, bringing the total number of vaccination sites across the country to 1,100. Now, the country has received vaccines produced by AstraZeneca, Sinopharm, Sinovac, Sputnik, and Johnson & Johnson, and is expecting to receive shots made by Pfizer and Moderna. It has also started producing Sinovac's vaccines locally. In Nigeria, 12 people have died of COVID-19 complications, while 296 new infections were recorded on Monday. That's according to figures released on Tuesday by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control. The Public Health Agency says the new infections reported in 14 states and the Federal Capital Territory raised the national total to 204,752 cases, while total fatalities now stand at 2,689. It added that over 2.9 million samples of the virus had been tested so far as the multi-sectoral National Emergency Operations Center activated at Level 2 coordinates the federal response activities. In Kenya, the Health Ministry has reported 255 new COVID-19 infections from a sample size of more than 6,300 tests conducted in the last 24 hours. This brings the country's total number of confirmed cases to 248,770. In the same period, 7 patients died from COVID-19 complications, bringing the number of virus-related deaths in the East African country to 5,116. The Health Ministry says 3.66 million vaccines have been administered across the country. Of these, the total first doses were 2.7 million, while second doses are over 893,000. South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa for the passage of a time-bound TRIPS waiver on patients on COVID-19 products, saying it is urgent to save millions of lives during the pandemic. Mr. Ramaphosa made the call on Tuesday at an event organized by the World Trade Organization. According to him, this is not the time to be unidimensionally focused on profit, but a time to save lives. He added that the success of developing countries in combating climate change would require concessional funding to support a just transition. Moving away from the coronavirus, the World Health Organization says it is horrified by the findings of an inquiry into allegations of sexual abuse by staff working in the Democratic Republic of Congo during an Ebola outbreak. The allegations came to light a year ago following an investigation by the new humanitarian news agency and the Thomson Reuters Foundation. Local women were allegedly plied with drinks, ambushed in hospitals, forced to have sex, and 2 became pregnant.
Concernant le cadre normatif de l'OMS en matière d'exploitation et d'abus sexuels et les structures de l'OMS chargées de la gestion de la réponse à la 10e épidémie d'Ebola, la commission indépendante a conclu qu'il y a eu des défaillances structurelles évidentes et une certaine impréparation à la gestion des risques d'incidents d'exploitation et d'abus sexuels. Des négligences individuelles pouvant s'apparenter à des fautes professionnelles. L'équipe d'examen a pu établir que les victimes présumées se voyaient promettre des emplois en échange des relations ou étaient exploitées sexuellement pour avoir et ou conserver un emploi au sein de la riposte. Les actes d'exploitation et d'abus sexuels ont eu lieu pour les uns dans les établissements hôteliers, pour certains autres, ils se sont déroulés dans des maisons que louaient des auteurs présumés. La majorité des victimes entendues par l'équipe d'examen étaient des femmes. Au total, l'équipe d'examen a reçu les témoignages de 63 femmes contre 12 hommes seulement, dans une fourchette d'âge de 13 à 43 ans et une moyenne d'âge tournant autour de 20 ans. Résumé. L'équipe d'examen ne s'est pas contentée seulement de comparer la liste des employés de l'OMS déployés sur le terrain. Elle a aussi et surtout étendu ses recherches à l'ensemble des partenaires et prestataires de l'OMS pendant la riposte. L'équipe d'examen a ainsi pu obtenir l'identité de 83 auteurs présumés. Dans 21 cas, l'équipe d'examen a pu établir avec certitude que les auteurs présumés étaient des employés de l'OMS lors de la riposte.
We in WHO are indeed humbled, horrified, and heartbroken by the findings of this inquiry. I'd like also to thank all the women and girls who have come forward and given evidence to the investigation, and thus have given us the basis on which to take action in WHO, which has been necessary.
Fishing activities have returned to Lake Chad after a Nigerian military strike accidentally killed 20 fishermen in Kwatadaban, Masara. The village, which lies on the shores of the lake, straddles Nigeria and neighboring Niger, Chad and Cameroon. Monday's accidental airstrike has not deterred the fishermen from going about their daily activities.
A cikin jeji a nan bangaren da inda bangaren din da aka yi aji to jirgin sama ina ganin kaman guda 3 ne suka zo mana a lokacin nan da koyar kuma tsaya suke su zuba ta ko ina wannan zai zuba can wannan zai zuba nan amma ni dai alhamdulillah ni bangare na Allah da iko ne ba na duka ta kudu da ni ne aka yi wannan abu ni ina karshen gabar ta kusan hanya da ina kusan ni na gab da hanya Allah bai nuhu aka ni yara na gaba ke dai Allah ya kare
zaman da ake a cikin wannan tafkin Chadi yanzu da Boko Haram da sojoji da manoma da masunta haɗe ake kuma jiragen saman nan wuta suke yi sun ga abokan gaba. Boko Haram nan kayan da suke sawa irin namu ne irin rigan mu ne irin wandon mu ne kuma an ce mu je mu yi noma mu shiga ruwa mu kama kifi mu je tun daga nan har ka je garin Kukawa har ka je garin Baga har ka shiga daban Masara gaba ɗaya manoma ne a je a gani to don jirgi ya kashe mu sai mu wa Allah kuma to Allah ya ji kansu.
Still to come, Swedish police are investigating an explosion at an apartment block in Gothenburg that injured 4 people. Join us again. Swedish police are investigating whether criminal activity was behind an explosion at an apartment block that seriously injured 4 people. Around 100 residents were evacuated and 16 were taken to hospital after the blast caused a fire that tore through the building in Gothenburg city in Sweden. Police have said they suspect the early morning blast was started deliberately. Police spokesman Thomas Foxberg told a news conference that they believe the device had probably been placed at the site of the blast. Unconfirmed reports in Swedish media say one of the apartment block residents is a police officer who had recently testified in a major gang trial. A Georgia man on Tuesday pleaded not guilty to 4 counts of murder and other charges following a mass shooting incident at Atlanta area day spa in March, for which the prosecutor is seeking the death penalty. An attorney for 22-year-old Robert Aaron Long entered his plea at a brief hearing in Atlanta. Long is accused of killing 8 people, most of them of Asian descent, at 3 spas in or near Atlanta. He pleaded guilty in July to 4 of the killings in Cherokee County. The attacks in March galvanized an awareness of a wave of anti-Asian bias in the United States during the coronavirus pandemic, after former President Donald Trump repeatedly referred to the coronavirus as Kung Flu or China virus. Now, South African Airways and Kenya Airways have signed a cooperation agreement with a long-term view to create a pan-African airline group. In a statement, Kenya Airways says the deal is not a merger, but a partnership that seeks to reorganize assets of both airlines into an ecosystem. In a separate statement, SAA says the pact did not preclude either firm from pursuing commercial cooperation with other carriers and said collaborating would help contain costs. Now, Zimbabwe's central bank has ordered banks to freeze the accounts of 30 people for 2 years for allegedly supporting and facilitating illegal foreign currency trading. On Tuesday, Governor John Mangudia published a list of individuals who are allegedly using social media platforms and mobile telecom services to prevent illegal forex trading and money laundering. Now, Zimbabwe has endured severe foreign currency shortages for years and has only reintroduced its domestic currency in 2019, ending 10 years of dollarization. For the rest of business news, Lekon Onabanjo has it all.
It's time for business news. You're welcome. I am Lekon Onabanjo. Nigeria's Senate Committee on Local Content has said the $5.792 billion Mambila hydroelectric power project is set for takeoff following the successful resolution of financial and legal hurdles that delay the project. The chairman, Senator Teslim Folarin, gave this indication recently in Abuja while receiving the report of the Finance Subcommittee of the project. The senator said the contractors handling the project are expected to commence work at the site before the end of the year 2021. According to Folari, the subcommittee was an offshoot of the Technical Working Group on Mambila Hydroelectric Power Local Content inaugurated in June last year. Let's now tell you that Kenya Electricity Generating Company PLC, known as KenGen, has started the construction of a research and development center at Tana Power Station, located in Muranga County, in a move to boost innovation in the company. The construction of the R&D center, which will also double as an archive for the company, is expected to take 18 months to complete, making KenGen one of the first public sector entities in Kenya to establish such as a facility. KenGen Managing Director and CEO Rebecca Miano said that the company had put in place measures to ensure that the employees and contractors working on the project were safe and observing the laid-down protocols for COVID-19. Meanwhile, Kenya Airways has started direct cargo flights between South Africa and the Democratic Republic of Congo. This started after the airline signed a memorandum of understanding with Congo Airways that would increase air connectivity and strengthen operations. The announcement is coming 2 weeks after KQ leased 2 Embraer E190 jets and crew to Congo Airways in a move aimed at offering greater passenger and cargo options between the two countries. Previously, all traffic department from Johannesburg had to pass through Nairobi. In April this year, Kenya Airways signed a 2-year code-share agreement with Congo Airways, a move that seeks to create additional connectivity to the two airlines' networks. In other news, South Africa will kick off its planned $1 billion, which is about 14.94 billion rands investment in South Sudan's oil sector around November, an official said, which is part of a drive to boost crude output that has dwindled after years of conflict. South Sudan's Petroleum Minister Awao Daniel Trang said that the investment would have started last year, but when COVID-19 restrictions started, everything had to be put on hold. He gave no further details of the arrangement, but he said that his country will shortly resume talks with neighboring Sudan on ways to increase output after Sudanese protesters ended a blockade that halted shipments of the landlocked South's oil over the weekend. A particular revenue drive is on hold in Kenya. A high court has suspended the Kenya Revenue Authority planned increase of excise duty on petroleum products. It was scheduled to start on October 1. 2 Kenyans, Isaiah Odando and Wilson Yatta, had petitioned court to stop the impending decision by the taxman to increase excise duty on the products by 4.97%, in line with average annual inflation. Justice James McCall said the petitioners had a strong case with the likelihood of success. If the interim order is not granted, the petitioners and Kenyans would stand prejudiced, the judge said. He also observed that if KRA adjusts the excise duty rates as proposed, Kenyans would be exposed to danger. And that's it on business news. Many thanks for watching. Do stay tuned for the remaining part of NC Continental Prime. I am Lekon Onabanjo.
Well, in sports tonight, Zambia's national team expected to be boosted from the stands as it takes on Equatorial Guinea during the international break. Onyo Barrow has that story and more. How are you doing, Onye?
Very fine, thank you. It's a good thing that Zambia will be having a 12-man support on that day, their second game for the 2022 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. Now let's take you through the world of sports. In the world of sport, the Tripoli Polo boys will finally have a huge fan base behind them when they take on Equatorial Guinea in the World Cup qualifier at the National Hero Stadium. According to a statement revealed by FAS Media, Confederation of African Football has approved the request to have 20,000 fans in the stadium when Zambia welcomes Equatorial Guinea. FAS President Andrew Kamange confirmed the development and indicated that the process of having fans for the league matches has also been triggered. The Ministry of Health had allowed FAS to admit 20,000 fans for the September 7 march against Tunisia, but CAF reduced the number to 5,000. Meanwhile, CAF has confirmed giving FAS the all clear to admit 20,000 fans, albeit with strict adherence to COVID-19 guidelines. Zambia will face Equatorial Guinea on October 10 at National Euro Stadium in a Group B quarter Qatar 2022 FIFA World Cup qualifier. Now, the Banyana South Africa opened their COSAFA Cup title defense with a 2-1 victory over Malawi at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium on Tuesday. The hosts scored the second minute as forward Melinda Gadiate got the score sheet. South Africa doubled their lead in the 37th minute with Nuzolo Sesane scoring from a deflected effort. Malawi's Wizi Mvula scored a goal in the 89th minute for the visitors.
She wasn't, neither did referee Twanyan Yukwa. Oh, a little slip from the defender. Great opportunity.
And now to the CAF Women's Champions League. Nigeria Super Falcons legend Perpetua Nkwocha, who wrote some of the most beautiful pages of women's football in Africa, will be in Cairo, Egypt on Wednesday, 29 September 2021 for the Confederation of African Football Women's Champions League draw. Wednesday's draw will be one giant leap towards the realization of a project that is aimed at fast-tracking development of women's football in Africa. The Nigerian striker Nkwocha won 6 CAF Women's African Cup of Nations in 2000, 2002, 2004, 2006, 2010 and 2014 with the Super Falcons, and then ended top scorer in the 3 editions in 2004, 2006 and 2010 of the competition. She is a 4-time winner of the award of the African Women's Player of the Year. And finally, in sports, South Africa's Springboks, alongside other teams, have been ordered by the Rugby Championship organisers to have players and staff isolate in their hotels amid the COVID-19 outbreak in Brisbane ahead of the final match of the competition. New Zealand, South Africa, Argentina and the host Australia played a double-header in the Townsville last weekend and wrapped up the competition on the Gold Coast on Saturday. The outbreak also affected the Sheffield Shield cricket match between Queensland and Tasmania, which was called off just before the toss on Tuesday. Despite the new cases, the Queensland government has not enforced a lockdown. And that's it in the world of sport. I am Onyechi Obaro. Back to you, Sly, for the rest of the news bulletin.
Well, many thanks, Onyechi. And very quickly here for our viewers, we've got a whole lot happening in the world of entertainment. And that'll be when we come back, and also a look at what the weather will be like where you are.
Thank you very much. And straight to entertainment news. Nigerian singer CK, who signed to Warner South Africa, has just recorded his first Billboard Hot 100 record. Now, his viral smash hit Love Wantiti hit number 80 on the charts. Now, this comes barely 1 week after the song charted at number 23 on the official UK Top 40. Now, the 26-year-old star has certainly earned massive acceptance with his hit track topping charts across France, Morocco, and climbing into Rolling Stones and the Billboards. Now, in fact, earlier in the month, CK's Love Wantiti became the #1 song on Shazam's global charts, making it the most searched song in the world and the latest African song to achieve this after Wizkid's Essence and Master KG's Jerusalem. Now, much credit for the song's success goes to numerous remixes, twists, and features the young star has had. Released over a year ago, and with the original song amassing over 40 million views on YouTube, here's a short clip from the acoustic version of the song Love Wantiti. Now to latest African reality shows. Young, Famous and African, the forthcoming series is set to feature celebrities from South, East and West Africa and will premiere on Netflix in 2022. Using women, boys and girls for decades. Now the one-time highly praised music star who gave us some hit songs like I Believe I Can Fly, Step in the Name of Love, Sign of a Victory, was convicted on all 9 counts including racketeering and violation of the Mann Act, which prohibits the transport of any woman or girl across state lines for any immoral purpose. Now rather shocking to some, but R. Kelly will be spending the rest of his life in prison. Well, of course, that's the much we can take on entertainment tonight. Back to Salai with the rest of the news.
Well, thanks, Sami. Not a good story about R. Kelly there. And of course, we understand that the sentencing will be in May of 2022. Well, let's go to our weather desk for what to expect across Africa regarding rainfall and precipitation. That's all, others are. But before we go, let's take another look at some of the major stories. The death toll from attacks in Nigeria's northwestern state of Kaduna has risen to 45. Zimbabwe says it will seek Rwanda's help to return to the Commonwealth. We also told you that Tunisia's President Kais Saied has been asked to reverse a decision to expand his powers and rule by decree. Now, do follow us on social media. We're at News Central TV. You can also download our mobile app on App Store and Play Store. You can also watch News Central live in Star Times Channel 274, AVO TV, Channel 23, Vision 247, Free TV, as well as on YouTube. I'm Sulaiman Aled, and many thanks for watching.